Yo, what's going on, everybody? James here. Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. Today we're going to be vlogging, but more specifically, we're going on a trip. Me and my wife are going on vacation. We're actually leaving to head to the airport in a couple hours, but I wanted to start this video, and I wanted to take the time to show you guys what I use on a day-to-day basis to make these videos when I do make videos. So I want to go into what cameras I use, what lenses I use, the audio solutions that I use. So hopefully you guys enjoy it, and let's go ahead and get on into the video. Alright, so the bag that I'm using is one that I got off of, we just got this off Amazon. My wife actually bought this for me for my birthday. So it's basically just like a modern travel bag. You've got a top compartment here that you can house miscellaneous things. It's got this bottom compartment here for your camera gear, and then it also has a side access pocket right here with a water bottle pocket so that you can access everything from the side. It also has an area for a tripod. So when I have been looking for gear, I am not I don't have the biggest budget for gear, so I am looking for what is the best bang for my buck when it comes to camera gear. So what I have, and this is what I am rocking right now, my main camera is actually the EOS RP, and I'm actually shooting on that right now. So in its place is my secondary body, which used to be my main body. It's the Canon EOS R10, but this is my secondary body now. I used this for a long time to vlog, to record, to stream, things like that, because you can plug this thing right into the computer and use it as a webcam instead of having to have a cam link. But now I am rocking the EOS RP as my main body just because it's full frame, and I know this camera right here, the R10, actually shoots higher quality in the fact that it does 4K up to 60 frames per second. My RP only does 4K at 24, but it has a crop. Both of these have crops, so I don't typically use the 4K unless I'm using like a super wide angle, which I don't have on the RP. I do have on the R10. I have that. We'll get into that in a minute with the lenses that I have, but for now, those are the two camera bodies that I'm using. Next is lenses. So we're gonna put the R10 down for a second. So I have 4 lenses that I use on a day-to-day basis, and I'm actually gonna grab the R10 again. So the main one, the vlogging one that I use on the R10, is this Canon 10 to 18 millimeter EF lens and EFS lens, and I have the Canon adapter for this lens so that I can adapt EF lenses to my RF mount cameras. Because as we all know, there's not a huge budget line of EF lenses or RF lenses out right now. So that's what I have to use for the time being for my audio, or not for my audio, for my cameras. I have one RF lens, and that's what I'm shooting on right now. So we'll talk about that one next. It's the Canon 24 to 105 f4 to 7.1. I use that because f4 at this point isn't really a hindrance when I have my 3-point lighting set up. F4 is not really a big issue because I have all of my studio lights, and when I'm using this to vlog outside, I'm actually slapping an ND filter on it, so it actually you know, isn't an issue to have a slower lens. Now I do eventually want to get the 15 to 30 RF 4-point or f4 lens because I want that extra, I want wide angle, because right now I've got my camera pushed back as far as I can, and as you can tell, I am barely in the frame, and I'd rather have the ability to zoom out an extra 9 millimeters in focal length. So both the 10 to 18, 24 to 105 have a 67 millimeter thread size. So actually on both of those lenses are step up rings or step down rings, whichever one you want to call it, so that I can fit the ND filter for this lens, which is the Tamron 17 to 50 f2.8 lens. This is my lens when I need a fast aperture. And then the other lens I have, I actually have two of them in my camera bag, one for each of my cameras, because I have two cameras. So I have two Canon 50mm lenses, and you're probably going to wonder why this one's a lot bigger than this one. That's mainly because this one has a lens hood on it, and then also I have a second EF to RF adapter so that I can use both of my cameras at the same time with the that. So that is what I'm using for cameras and lenses. That's pretty much it. The only other thing that I'll say is typically when I'm vlogging, I'll use this Bauer shotgun microphone that goes on the hot shoe of my camera. But lately, within the last couple of weeks, I actually just picked up, and I'm going to show it to you right here, the Rode Wireless Me microphones. These microphones, I needed a better wireless system. Now, granted, they only came with one transmitter. I actually have this system right here. This is what I've been using, these big chunky wireless packs. But I needed something smaller for when I'm doing weddings and when I'm filming. So having the Rode Wireless Me allows me to, and I can put it on my tripod like this so I can set it down and have other things. And I'm also going to try to get the magnetic mount so that I can magnetize it to my shirt so that I can get a closer audio sound. But basically, it allows me to have a better audio solution for my camera, and it doesn't look bulky because I try to have a smaller setup, and lugging around either the Bauer shotgun microphone or this Tascam microphone that I've had that Tascam microphone since 2017. But I want smaller, more low profile, so that when I'm actually out vlogging and out with my camera, I don't have a huge, bulky camera system. And then speaking of that, what I use for a tripod, and I was using it in the intro, but I switched out to my actual big tripod, is another birthday gift that I got this year for my birthday. And this is the Alonzi MT16 tripod, and you'll see this chunky thing on here. We'll talk about that in a minute. But basically what it is it's a selfie stick with legs for a tripod. But I really never use it in the selfie stick mode, like the extender, because my camera weighs too much, and it actually collapses on its own. But yet, the other day I picked up these. I can't really pronounce it. Udibit. It's a quick release system for the camera, so that I can mount this on the tripod, and I actually have one on my desk mount over there for when I stream, so that I can just plop my camera on and off. And I'm actually probably going to buy one more of these for my base tripod for when I'm having to mount a camera. And I have a quick release on the RP and on the R10, just so that I can have seamless movement and getting things ready to go. Now, me and my wife do have a production company where we do photos and video for weddings and different events of that nature. But I will do a video on her setup a little bit later. But the reason I'm doing this is because I'm actually going out vlogging, and I want you guys to see what I'm using. So basically, in the top compartment, I'm not going to pull everything out because I actually just packed it. But in the top compartment, you can put clothes if you're doing like a day trip, things like that. But what I've got in there is I've got my Nintendo Switch in its carrying case with the dock, the charger. I have two wireless controllers because we're going to be gone for a little over a week. So I want to have the ability to have entertainment on our flight, at our Airbnb when we're staying, things like that. So that's all tucked away in that top thing. And then just basically The rest of it is batteries, SD cards, just the non-interesting stuff. But hopefully that gives you guys a really good insight into what I use on a day-to-day basis to make my videos. Also, for traveling while I'm gone for editing, I have a 2014 MacBook Pro. I know it's older, but you've got to use what you got to use, and I've said this all the time. Use what you have, and then when you have the ability to get better, then you get better. So I have a travel MacBook that I use. I also have an iPad 10th gen that I use to edit. I use LumaFusion on the iPad. I use Premiere Pro on the Mac, and it works fine for what I'm doing. I'm not doing super intensive edits where I have massive color grades because I'm not shooting in 4K. I'm not shooting in a log profile. I'm basically shooting in just raw. Now that does take up a little bit more space, but it's not super intensive on my gear to use. So hopefully you guys enjoy, and that gives you guys a little bit of an insight on what I use to make my videos. Now what we're gonna do is I need to go eat lunch, and we gotta finish packing because we have 2 hours before we have to head to the airport.